Here we go, the last round of the regular season for NBL24, and it starts with the Wildcats flying cross-country to tackle the Illawarra Hawks. In terms of a Sportsbet same-game multi, we'll take the total points over in this one. I expect it to be up and down. We'll include Bryce Cotton, Christian Doolittle and Sam Froling to get on the glass. I like the look of that Sportsbet same-game multi, but I like the look of this even more. Scotty Pippen and Horace Grant at Sportsbet Caulfield on Blue Diamond Day. Take a photo of the QR code and you can get a free ticket to the races. Enjoy.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
A captivating final round of Hungry Jack's NBL starts in Wollongong. And Brad Rosen, is it any wonder that fans are turning up to games like this one en masse?
We're in round 20 and we still don't know who's in the top six, Matty. Obviously, there's so many teams that can make it. We don't know where everyone's going to end up, but it's going to be an unbelievable round and it starts now.
It starts with Illawarra hosting Perth. Now, the Hawks arrived here tonight knowing they can finish anywhere between 4th and 7th this season. The Wildcats came knowing they're safe in second, but in real danger of being swept by tonight's opposition.
In Illawarra, the Cinderella story in the last 16 games, they got the second best record. Who's got the best? Perth, and that's who they play tonight.
But Perth's biggest losing mark this season, 18 points twice, and on each occasion, it was against the Hawks.
Perth Wildcats have won 6 in a row. Right now, they are the hottest team in the NBL. They're looking to make it 8 of their last 9 against the Illawarra Hawks. Great look for 3. The Hawks have started full of energy.
Wow. Couldn't have asked for a better start.
Almost was that.
Johnson! Oh! Red feather! Baby face!
For the Hawks to cap off a golden first quarter.
Oh!
Simply incredible!
Jack, we had a game, baby.
It was a win that was set up from the opening tip. The Illawarra Hawks knock off the hottest team in the competition right now in the Perth Wildcats. Who would have thought the Hawks would go into RAC Arena and knock off the rampaging Wildcats by 18, but they have.
This is a mammoth win after losing 3 in a row the way they've lost. Travelled to Perth, one of the hottest teams in the league, and nearly 20-pieced them.
And shut the leading score down.
One of the biggest wins for coach Justin Tatum.
Those results, those highlights have the Win Entertainment Centre rocking tonight. We are inside the sandpit, which is filling quickly, and looking at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. Hawks fans see their team in 4th. Justin Tatum knows they finished with games against Perth and Melbourne. Brad, win 1 of those 2 games. They should finish 4th. Lose both, they could slip as far as 7th.
It's important to get the win for both teams tonight. Perth, they'll want to go in winning record. They go to Tasmania in a couple of days. For Illawarra, it's about getting as high as they can. Of course, if they can slip into that 4th spot, then they'll get a second bite of the cherry. Huge game.
John really has done a great job. From 2 and 5, he's clawed his way up the ladder. Perth sit in 2nd. They go Illawarra, Tasmania. They should finish 2nd on percentages, even if they win their last 2 games. So what a final round it is. And the men we've just seen, the 2 coaches, they are strong contenders for Coach of the Year honours on Monday night at the Andrew Gaze MVP Awards. Look at the results since round 8 when interim coach Justin Tatum took over. If he beats John Rillie tonight, Rillie and Tatum will have most wins in the league since Tatum took control.
Unbelievable. I can't go against Dean Vickerman, but those 2 have been tremendous the way they've taken their club. Who would have thought 17 games ago, we said both of these teams are going to fight for last and who's going to be involved. Now they're looking at 2nd and 4th. It's great. Let's throw it up. We've been told it's standing room only here tonight, Matty. We can feel it already.
Not long ago, the Hawks wobbled with 3 straight losses. But over the last 5 games, Gary Clark has put his team on his shoulders on multiple occasions. A lot has been said about Gary Clark. When you look at his numbers over the last 5 games, what else is left to say?
We're watching the 2 people going for the MVP, Matty, but Gary Clark is one of them. Bryce Cotton's the other. This man has been tremendous. He can take you inside, he can take you outside, he can do whatever he wants at any time, and he does it with patience. He's a brilliant basketballer, but what about that man?
What about that man, what he's done against the league compared to what he's done against Illawarra. It is a gulf. How have the Hawks done it? Can they do it again?
Tatum's done a brilliant job. They'll double the ball. They won't allow him to get it, and they won't want him to get it back, more importantly. 3 of 21 in both games against Illawarra. Is that Bryce's kryptonite?
They call it the cotton clamp. And in Perth, Pete Hooley, Alan Williams and Joey Montagna, they're walking the streets. Free Bryce, free Bryce, free Bryce. Doesn't happen tonight.
Thank you, Matty. Thank you, Brad. We know you were very excited. So are we. Quick look at the starting fives. Pete, this starting five, 4 and zip since Justin Robertson's gone to the bench.
And I like this look for them. Put Hyung Jong Lee in there, put shooters around Gary Clark, Sam Froling, bring that energy and that veteran leadership from Robertson off the pine.
And Source, the starting five for the Perth Wildcats. It's been constant for them. They're 12 and 3 with this 5 out there.
Constant, really good, second best starting 5 in the league, in my opinion. And obviously, Bryce Cotton looking for his get back tonight. Looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Let's get this one underway. Final round of what has been a crazy NBL 24, round 20. There's plenty on the line. We'll talk through it as the game goes on. But we know it is all about the Hawks tonight. They win and in. They will be playing in the play-in at least. And they could go further. It's been a remarkable run. Full house, as Matty Russell and Brad Rosen have told us. Here's Hyung Jung Lee. Gonna let it fly straight up. We're going to keep an eye on the defence against Bryce Cotton. There's been plenty of talk about these previous 2 matchups. The 2 biggest losses for Perth Wildcats this season have been against this Hawks team. What are you expecting tonight?
It's a chess match right now from John, really, because their whole round 20, right? There's a strong chance they're going to be playing one of these 2 teams in a 3-game semi-final series. If Illawarra finish 4th, which a lot of people expect them to potentially have that position sewn up, then if they go down and beat Tassie, they're going to have a semi-final series against this team. Or Perth's last game against Tassie is the other one. There's Ty Webster getting on the board for Perth. So this is just unique. You don't want to show too much, but you also want to try and get some things flowing in case you do play them in a semi-final series.
How tricky is it, Source, for this Wildcats team? As we've said, can't move from second spot. Of course, they want to continue to have winning form. But as Pete said, do they just keep a little bit up their sleeve for what's to come?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll just see guys now.
There's Harvey. Almost got that fall.
You'll see guys now starting to play less minutes. And so if Bryce Cotton typically comes out with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, he may come out with 6 minutes left in the first quarter tonight, just to get the rhythm and the juices flowing still, but not overexerting these players so that they're ready for the finals coming up.
They definitely want to make sure they get him flowing, because it's not just the way the Hawks have managed to have success against, it's their defensive strategy. It is unique the way they play against Bryce Cotton, and we're going to watch this game unfold, especially the first quarter. When he catches the ball, how many different jerseys load up behind him, but even more so, I'm really keen to watch in transition. If there's a long missed shot or a turnover, just watch the jersey run and find Bryce and almost give up a layup rather than Bryce Cotton touching the ball.
Well, these have been the 2, Clark and Froling. Clark just continuing his red-hot form.
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible right now. Scores on all 3 levels, uses his physicality and his size, as well as his skill and his touch around the basket. One of the most exciting players that we have in this league.
His last 10 games, averaging almost 20 and 8. He's really got this team on his back. And they want to get into Froling. Again, had such a consistent season. Almost identical numbers to his NBL 23. There's Pinder. Speaking of being in good form, he's in fine touch.
That's exactly how you got to beat it. Again, you saw that. Bryce Cotton brought it over half court. They had 2 guys, Lee and Swakula Bullock, both ready to try and slow him down in transition. County Pinder just sealing underneath.
Before we talk about Bryce Cotton's struggles against the Hawks, County Pinder's just had 9 points and 9 points in the 2 meetings as well this year. So if it's not Bryce that gets going, I'm sure they'd love to get Keanu Pinder going. So we'll take a look at Harvey Norman replay.
Yeah, as we take a look at the Harvey Norman replay here, it's just Gary Clark getting himself going early. They tried to get him the ball in the mid-block at first. Didn't get the basket necessarily. Coming back down, finds his shot, finds his spot, and knocks it down.
Here's Clark. Harvey had back-to-back 20-point games last weekend. First couple haven't gone down. Froling's going to draw the foul.
One of the best offensive rebounding teams in the competition are the Illawarra Hawks. And just a little bit slow on the defensive end. Firstly, they lost Tyler Harvey on the baseline out of bounds. He had a layup attempt from 3. He normally knocks that down. Then this fell in Sam Frolling's lap. And he gets down. Part of the defense for an and one. You just wonder, again, for what these games mean for Perth. And I'm sure the conversation has been spoken about when they're leading up to it. Is, okay, if you've started playing 30, we know Bryce plays 40 minutes for someone else, we might pull you back 5 to 10 minutes here or there.
One thing you don't want to see, though, Pete, is bad habits. And as we see Hiram Harris getting downhill with his left hand and drawing the foul there, you don't want to pick up bad habits. That last possession, perfect example. Shot goes up. Keanu Pinder's the first one down the floor. They don't even have possession of the basketball yet. You got to stay in there, continue that box out, because if you want to bring home that NBL championship, you're going to have to do all those little things.
Of course, all the emotion is on the side of the Hawks tonight. This is really season on the line. That's how they have to look at this game.
It's crazy.
Home crowd.
If you haven't jumped on the ladder predictor yet, do it now before this game's done, because it can get really juicy. And the fact there is even a world with how well the Hawks have played, where if they do drop both and other margins go against them, where they fall out entirely, is absurd. It's very unlikely. Right? It's not going to happen.
It's not very unlikely. I did it as well. I mean, they're playing the Perth Wildcats tonight, and they've got Melbourne United on Sunday. If they drop both games, which is a fair possibility, if New Zealand just win one of their 2 and Sydney knock off South East Melbourne, it's going to come down to percentage, and there's 0.4% separating the teams. So it's real for the Hawks as the cheeseburgers get given out really early in this one.
We could have a record of the season. That's early. They're early burgers.
Early burgers.
Yes.
That's almost bacon and McMuffin early.
Well, Harvey have another look at it. His 4th attempt. The radar not on at the moment, but they go down to Froling again. And that gets the crowd up and about.
And those are the shots, right, that Sam Froling dug. That's the reason why the Illawarra Hawks have turned this season around and are in the position that they're in now. Not those wild, crazy shots that we're typically used to seeing from that side. And so get the ball inside, get it to your big guys in Clarkin and Froling, let them initiate the offense, and then the shooters will eat off of that.
And on the flip side, I'm just keen to see the rest of the Wildcats start to understand their offensive end, as we might get a quick timeout here.
Yeah, Gary Clark just a quick 2, went down the other end.
Just, again, caught sleeping off the turnover, the Wildcats. And I think it was Sparkle Bullet. Just a quick turnover. Both Pinder and Doolittle were looking at each other wondering what happened, and in the blink of an eye, they were down the other end and laid it up.
So John Riley has called a snooze timeout. Brad Rosen caught up with him pre-game to talk about this Illawarra Hawks matchup and Bryce Cotton.
You've lost twice to this team, and quite convincingly as well. What have you got to change, knowing those 2 games, to get the win tonight?
We just have to play better and make more shots.
There's a lot of talk Illawarra Bryce kryptonite. What do you say to that?
Let's play and let's see what happens.
John Riley there with his game face on.
So here we go. That's again, falling asleep. That's the play. This little baseball pass, and it wasn't like Swaka Bullock out-sprinted anybody. There was just no awareness from the Wildcats to get back after the turnover.
So would this be John Riley, source, just reaffirming to his group? Because no doubt he would have spoken at pre-game. This is a massive occasion for the Hawks at home, season on the line. Yes, we understand where we're at, but we can't allow this to happen. And this is just a quickly reminder that straight away, the difference between the 2 teams, probably on an emotional level.
Yeah, I think when you come out flat, you get punched in the mouth. And that's what's happening right now from the Perth Wildcats. They just come out a bit flat, aren't getting back in transition. Like I said, are leaking out of plays prior to getting the rebound. Like, just those little things that you thought should be ironed out by round 20 are still evident in this club right now. And so they need to reset, talk about it, and get back onto their stuff.
He's pinned up for 3. Well, let's get down to the boys. Matt Russell, you're listening into the Perth Wildcats huddle?
Yeah, Corey Webster was shouting out, reset. Ty Webster said, get back indeed. Then the coach, John Riley, came in and said, get on the glass. The opposition has more players in this contest than us right now. Brad Rosen, how are the Hawks?
One of the things that impressed me about Illawarra is how calm they've been, and that timeout was the same. Everyone was vocal, but everyone was like, it's all about the defense as Sam Froling misses. But again, they get an offensive rebound.
And almost again, too easy for Lee. Couldn't finish. Some signs early.
What we're seeing right now is what game means the most to what team. That's the Hawks. You know how important it is. And it's human nature, right? If you're Perth, and what are you really playing for? I know there is a world where they could potentially finish first. That's definitely not going to happen, Joey. But this means so much to Illawarra. Good take from Ty Webb. A few words to the bench, just trying to get everybody up and about.
Saw the rebound count there. Al, 9-2 early. That's always an indicator.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the flat, you know what I mean? It's them not being ready to go right now. And obviously, Ty Webster getting downhill and getting that basket is big for them right now to get things going.
And Clark leaves that one short. As we've seen these Wildcats, we know how good they are as Doolittle knocks down the mid-range. They have this ability, Perth Wildcats, to just rip a team apart in one quarter. They've been able to do it in their last 7 wins. They've had one quarter where they've outscored the opposition by at least 12 points in every one of their last 7 wins. And that just separates the game. So they have that in them.
A lot of that is design. And mate, it's not Bryce Cotton scoring. He's involved in it, right? And we haven't seen it so far in this one. But Illawarra have done what they've done exceptionally well this season, and that is attack the offensive glass. 6 O-boards in 4.5 minutes played. It's going to make Justin Tatum very happy. And it's those kind of efforts, you can't question that from Illawarra. They're always going to go to the offensive glass. And when you come to a semi-final series, or if they make a championship series, it's all those kind of 1%ers, those things that aren't executing, those things that aren't just knocking down shots, which everybody has to, that separate teams.
Frolling's missed both, but he's going to get another look at it. Just a 63% free throw shooter, Froling. Almost 15 points and 8 rebounds a game. So consistent. Number 1 in the competition, points in the paint. That's where he does his best work.
And I love that from Coach Tatum and Sam Froling there. He's like, come on, big fella, make your free throws. And Sam gets that 3rd opportunity and knocks it down and points right over to his coach and almost like, yeah, I got you, coach.
Well, there's an example of the defense on Bryce Cotton. Lee wasn't even looking at the ball. It trickled under his legs. He missed the chance to pick it up, and Bryce Cotton makes them pay with his first bucket.
Well, he broke the script, fell asleep. He did the job that you were highlighting, and as soon as that ball was on the floor, somebody else has to dive. Unless you're 100% coming up with it, stick to what's been working.
Robinson checks into the game straight away, finds Clark wide open.
I like this new look for Justin Robinson. He's been inconsistent in NBL 24, but coming off the bench, he plays against a different unit. Another look at this. This is what you're talking about, where Hyungjong Lee face guarding Bryce Cotton, didn't come up with it. So right there, if you're Sam Froling, you've got to realise that Lee's the one sitting in Bryce Cotton's pocket, and he's on the floor, so I've got to find Bryce.
Cannot anticipate anything and leave Bryce Cotton open.
Let's get down to Brad Rosen. You want to join in on the conversation about Bryce Cotton?
Yeah, I do. Well, I actually want to talk about Hyungjong Lee. Just what I love about what Tatum's doing is at the beginning of the year, there's many substitutions going on. He's leaving guys out there that are playing. Whilst he hasn't hit many shots and not scoring there, it's the way he's playing, his energy, his offensive glass rotation, and his defense. Love that coaching from Tatum.
This is where you can have that success in other areas, right? If they're going to guard Bryce Cotton like this, and it's not just the front guard. A lot of teams will try and take the ball out of his hands, because that's probably, if you can successfully do that, that's the easiest way to keep him quiet. Because if he catches the ball, more often than not, it's game over. But if you have him in the strong side corner instead of pick and roll, and it's Keanu Pinder or someone rolling hard, you know there's no tagger on that roll, because Hyungjong Lee's not going to leave Bryce Cotton to bump the cutter. He's going to stay attached. You can open up that side of the floor.
Good start for the Wildcats now. All 5 starters have scored, so they're spreading it at the moment. Hyungjong Lee checks out. Mason Peatling will come into the game. Spoke about Justin Robinson. He's been much better under coach Justin Tatum. He had the 24 turnovers in his first 9 games. He's had 24 in his last 17.
Had one there. That's your fault, Joey.
Yeah, right on cue. Coughed it up. Easy the other end.
And that goes to show Perth Wildcats' versatility, right? We just saw the previous possession, Hiram Harris getting an and-one layup on the left side. This one, Doolittle now the past 2 transition possessions has gone down and been able to make an easy shot and then come back on the other side and verticality wall up right there. Like, it's incredible the matchups and lineups that Perth Wildcats have at their disposal.
I was going to say, on one end, we've seen Christian Doolittle do that warm-up, that wall-up, sorry. He's been elite at that. One of the best defenders in the league, no doubt. Transition pull-up threes. I haven't seen too many of those from Doolittle.
The midi maybe, but the 3 is we haven't seen it a lot.
There's Blanchfield finding Hickey playing some good minutes, and Peatling again attacking the offensive boards.
Just a great example of the Illawarra Hawks spacing. They keep guys low on the dunker, and they get a lot of those easy little dump-off plays from that.
So 7th offensive rebound already in this first quarter. There's Usher. Someone who's been in pretty good form. Couldn't get that to go. Harris tried to keep possession, but it'll be a Hawks ball. Jordan Usher. Pretty solid season. 13 points at almost 45% from the field.
Maybe not the season that he was possibly anticipating himself having, but he's been an intricate part of what the Perth Wildcats have been able to do.
This is what they want to do. Get the ball out of Bryce Content. Look how high this ball screen is. And Mason Peeling, it's not so much a double. It's really just a hard show to say, we're going to load up behind. They're going to live with that. Usher can make that. But if the ball is just out of Bryce Conten's hands, if he's going to bring it up as the point guard, as soon as he gets rid of it, we're going to go back to front guarding it.
A big talking point this week. Does Bryce Cotton look to attack these Hawks? Does he just do whatever's required? Does he keep a little bit up his sleeve? We'll keep an eye on him tonight, how many minutes he's going to play as well. We know that Perth will finish in second spot as Blanchfield. And we know the last time these two teams played at season high 16 points against his former side. And now Cotton gets a one-on-one matchup, goes to work, can't keep him down.
And if it's BC versus anybody right now in this league one-on-one, I like Bryce Cotton's chances here. Just gets the ball, takes it himself, sizes him up, gets downhill to that right hand with the contact and a nice kiss off the glass. That's why he's the leading MVP candidate, because he can do it all on that offensive end.
He's going to punish you. If you're reactive, like Robinson was there, Robinson's just kind of waiting. You don't try and get on the front foot, dictate, at least try, you're at his mercy.
After a slow start here, Wildcats are really in control now of this first quarter. First quarters have been a strong suit of the Hawks. Only once in the last 7 games have they been outscored in the first quarter. And another cough up from Robinson.
It's been a little stagnant in the last couple of possessions.
Here's Usher. He likes the matchup. And good find for Wagstaff. Was a foul. Of course, we know the No Bull Tour is coming very, very soon. Chicago Bulls, Pittman, Horace Grant, Luke Longley. Presented by Coca-Cola. This storytelling experience not to be missed. Melbourne, Sydney, February, and in February it's coming up very, very soon. So make sure you go and get your tickets. NBL.com.au/No Bull.
Now, Wags only made one of those free throws, but I think the play that Jordan Usher made there shows his development that he's had throughout this season. I think early on in the year, 2 guys on him, spinning to the middle, he's taking that shot. But he took his time, found his teammate that was there underneath the basket, and ended up drawing the foul for him.
After a pumped up Justin Robinson taking care of the ball. Tatum's taken over, sits out with a couple of turnovers in this first quarter as Froling again looks to be aggressive. Missed a few under the basket here, the Hawks, and again, this time Harvey finally gets his first to fall.
No better time.
5th time lucky.
Offensive rebound. You know the shooters are going to have their feet down, hands ready to catch and shoot. 9 offensive rebounds in this first 8.5 minutes. Oh, what?
Oh.
That would have been Max Peeling.
Incredible there.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure the captain on the floor gets. Here we go.
Hickey. Nice athletic move.
Over the potential #1 pick there, too.
I think it was in the end, it was a good business decision, wasn't it? Yeah. Just, and right now, Perth. This is a speed we haven't seen Perth at play a whole lot. Whether the Hawks score or turn it over, they are really aggressive. Not too much side to side, slowing it down, trying to execute. A couple of passes, a dribble or 2, and put some heat on the rim.
Well, snooze time out pre-game. Matty Russell, he caught up with Justin Tatum to talk about this matchup against the Perth Wildcats, potential sweep, and also the form of Gary Clark.
You've beaten them twice by 18 points, but I keep hearing it's so hard to sweep a team in the NBL. Do you agree with that? You're nodding. Why?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, because these are professionals. They determine not to, be able to be beat like they've been previous by us, and we expect them to come out and play and give us everything. So we don't expect the same result, even though we'll do our best to create it. But, we know these guys are going to come hunting and try to determine to find a way to win.
In the 5 games since that 3-game losing streak, Gary Clark has put the team on his shoulder. We've said it week in, week out. Is there anything left to be said about Gary in his season so far?
I'm going to just keep bragging about him, man. He's been doing great. Yeah, we're blessed to have him. And like I said, the game has been slowing down for Gary, and you just show what his talent really is. And so he feeds off that, and he gives the team momentum, and we're glad to have him.
Alan Williams, from afar, what have you seen about Justin Tatum that it's appealed to you? Why this group are playing so hard for him?
I think it's his relatability with the team, right? He got in there early, had the conversations with those players as he was an assistant, developed the relationship, developed that trust, and now things are just firing on all cylinders for the Illawarra Hawks right now. He simplified it, and he brings this energy and aura about him. It's incredible to watch, and it's one of the reasons why the Illawarra Hawks are in the position that they're in now.
Of course, they were 2-7 to start this season, and then Tatum's taken over. They've gone 11-6, and are looking at a top 4 spot. Got to get the job done this weekend, though.
That's a Michael Harris minutes here for Perth. We expect them to get a little deeper in the rotation this weekend. They played 8 players until around the 3rd quarter against Cairns last week. Really kept the rotation short as Tyler Harvey. That's just too easy. Just a beautiful looking floater. One of the more immaculate floater games we have. I said one of.
I wasn't going to say nothing. As we see Bryce again, just getting to his spot, that contact, that pressure there, understanding that, and Hickey, you got to stay on your feet when that pump fake goes up. Otherwise, you're just gifting them to it.
It's tough to sweep a team. It is tough to sweep a team for whatever reason. There's a bunch of them, but it's also, if you're the Illawarra Hawks, you have had success that has been talked about a whole lot against Bryce Cotton. It's even harder to try and keep him quiet at 3rd time. And yes, they put in a unique strategy and it's worked the first 2 times. But this is what greatness does. He takes the challenge on,
Figures it out,
and always rises above it.
and he's just going to help himself to 8 points in this 1st quarter and give his Wildcats a 2-point lead. 30 seconds to play. Harvey, who just his first 4 attempts, has made his last couple. Froling wants to give it back to Tyler Harvey. Now he's got himself in a bit of a pickle. He'll find him in the corner. And there's that little floater again. Another one that's rattled out in this 1st quarter, but another offensive rebound.
That's going to be the message at quarter time. Control the glass. 10 offensive rebounds in a quarter. It's not going to make John really happy whatsoever. And offensive rebounds for the Illawarra Hawks, that's just effort.
Effort and understanding, right? You have Bryce Cotton this 1st quarter has probably played the best defensive quarter that I've seen him play in this season. He's been engaged, been into the ball, but he's forcing that tough shot to go up. Somebody's got to be boxing out on the backside, understanding that this Hawks team, they are monsters on the old glass.
And that's deflating if you're Bryce, right? You've just chased for 22 seconds. You've ran a shooter off the 3-point line. He's managed to miss a floater, which doesn't happen too often, and someone else goes up and overboard.
Here's young AJ Johnson, who's going to guard Bryce. Well, it won't be one-on-one. You're going to try and get the ball out of his hands, you would think. They find Usher in the corner. He saw Froling go up, so he attacks the glass. Good finish. Good 1st quarter of basketball here. So much on the line for the Illawarra Hawks. This man, Bryce Cotton, just slowly finding his groove. And it's the Wildcats leading by 2 points from the Wynn Entertainment Centre, Wollongong.
good place to be catching some weight. The folks like it. And this Hawks team's on a good run. This back half of the season has been pretty special. What do you think about the last few weeks and how the Hawks get going? It's been fantastic. Highlight of the week from the season has been the kicks on Christmas night. And then the back up last Sunday meeting again. It was just so special. And the way they've turned the team around, turned the season around, it's just been fun to watch. And so, let's take it back to the time as a player when you hear the Hawks. What's your favourite race? As a player going into great highlights, I don't care what class I'm on here. We got one focus and the highlights are really all the great people in the state. Well, folks, what you see out here on court, this man had a lot to do.
We've got a beauty to start the final round of Hungry Jack's NBL. The Hawks trailing Perth 26-24 after the first quarter. Their leaders, Cotton and Clark, going at it. Bryce has 8 points. Gary Clark with 6, who shines in this second quarter coming up. I can tell you that John really was animated late in that first quarter about rebounding. We know Perth give up more opposition rebounds than any team in the league, and he was screaming at his team, it takes 5 men to rebound. That's the way we're going to win the championship. Brad Rosen, over to you.
Well, Justin Tatum was very heated as well. He gave him 2 very simple instructions on the defensive side and said, stop the turnovers, just too many of them. He then said, we must be getting back in defensive transition. We cannot give him easy basket. He then looked at AJ Johnson, the next star who's in the game. He said, if Bryce passes the ball, he is not to get it back. That's your job.
5 turnovers in that first quarter for the Illawarra Hawks. Completely out-rebounded as Bryce Cotton.
Well, I fell asleep. I've done that a couple times now. Bryce Cotton inbounds that ball.
He's getting it back, Pete.
We saw that coming from a mile away. There's just been a couple of those. There's a travel from AJ Johnson where just fall asleep. You've got to be locked in. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. This is normally this is just to move the ball on, right? A handoff, but that is so often. We see that play so much. But there's only so many players that you know that, hey, if I cheat this, I might get punished.
Well, I love the offensive awareness there by the young fella in Alexander Sarr. Understands that Harvey's going under that and isn't in the spot he's supposed to be. Slightly backs up and creates that opportunity for Bryce there. Just a good little pickup for a really young player.
That's why on Monday night at the Gazies, Bryce Cotton will pick up his 4th NBL MVP. They get another turnover, so Coach Tatum won't be happy with this. A couple to start this quarter. There's good defense from Clark and Olbrich getting some minutes. So a couple of youngsters on the floor for the Hawks. And then another turnover, so that's 3 inside the first minute.
And Tyler Harvey's got to hold that. They're just simple transition rules. You don't have to make a play until somebody stops you. There was no one in front of him. I mean, really, more often than not, we see Tyler Harvey pull up in that situation. Everybody's going to guard you. You keep going and make the defense guard you before you make a play.
Cotton almost stepped on the line. It was very close to backcourt violation as Usher was just given a little bit of space from Clark, who tempted him to take the shot. He did. They get the stop. You can see the stat there. Hawks have lost their last 15 home games when trailing at quarter time. So they're going to have to defy some history in this one if they want to lock up a spot in the play-in.
You see Tyler Harvey just getting downhill with that left hand. His touch around the basket to be able to finish over that length from Sarr is really amazing to see.
Again, good active hands from Olbrich. Another turnover. Clark and Harvey out there to lead the way. Harvey's got 7, Clark's got 6. And that's regulation for him now.
He's really good in a pick and pop. More so than normally just to catch and shoot, and I think it's because he just gets his feet behind the three-point line so quick that he knows, he sees the separation, and he's already shot that ball before it comes to him.
9 points for Gary Clark, and always at such an efficient clip. Now his 4th rebound. He's been a walking double-double the back half of this year, and now he's feeling it.
He must have heard you there, Pete. He must have heard you. Said he couldn't shoot the pull-up, man. Gary Clark just walking into another contested 3.
Heavily contested.
4 of 5 from long range for Gary Clark, all 12 points. from the three-point liners. Saar, that's better. Getting some rebounds and a chance for a three-point play.
Tasting your own medicine. There's the steal. There's the pick and pop. You see that, just the feet. Footwork was spot on. And this one right here, just trying to see what the defense is doing. Are they going to switch? Okay, going to contest a little late. Could almost been an M1.
And then here you got Alexander Saar just fighting on the offensive glass there. Gets the contact, puts it up with a soft touch, gets the finish.
Of course, Alex Saar will be keen to make an impression tonight. Olgun was reporting early today there are 6 NBA reps in the house tonight, including some GMs from Memphis and Portland, watching the potential #1 NBA draft pick and coming off one of his best games of the season last week against Cairns.
You're a big full name guy.
Yeah, I've heard Liam Santa Maria calling him Alexander.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming if the head of the Next Stars program is calling him by his full name there, then that's what I'm going to call him. Because apparently somebody told him that that's what he would prefer to
That's
call.
great awareness.
It's a good little pick-up. Attention to detail. Take note, Pete. Scores a level. Robinson again. His new role, injecting a bit off the bench. It's to the left hand, gets another 2, and they take the lead back. Usher again tries his luck from long range. Clark pulls down another rebound. Oh, another turnover starting to kill the Hawks now. That's 9.
That's a trouble.
Crowd knew it. Refs did it, and they make amends. Called for a charge is Jordan Usher. They might want that reviewed.
I need to review it. It's just the first foul. Oh, boy. And then Gary Clark, I don't even think wanted to take a charge. Just got bowled into.
Takes a seat, Jordan Usher.
We may be very well getting a challenge.
Yeah. I think that left foot was in the restricted area.
It did look like that on the replay.
Yeah.
That's what they are challenging, unless John really just wants to calm everybody down. Not sure there is a challenge. This might just be a regular timeout. But it did look close, didn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, with all the chaos there, it is a coach's challenge.
Here we go. We are getting one.
So that foot.
Oh, I tell you what, it looks like his heel is in the air until Jordan Usher steps on his foot.
Let's take a look at it.
So what's the call then if it's Usher's foot that forces it to touch the line?
Well, I believe that
when contact takes place, right?
But Jordan Usher's not an airborne player either, so you have to take that. But Gary Clark, he really wasn't even facing at the time.
He wasn't interested, was he, until he put his
He
hands
got
up right at the last
into.
second? Well, we continue to take a look, just some of the numbers standing at 21 rebounds to 7 has been a big factor for the Hawks. So, you know, that's what John really spoken about. But 9 turnovers Illawarra have committed.
So we're not looking at the charge circle whatsoever here, because as I said, he's not an airborne shooter. So the charge circle doesn't come into play. That's why it's there, because we want people going up to dunk for you to not slide underneath, or you're going to go and compete. That's what the whole point of that is. So we're just trying to see whether it's legal guardian position, which makes it close.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Make a call, Pete. What do you think?
I'm going to look at it.
Review, the coach's challenge is unsuccessful. Call on the floor stands.
I'm going to say it's a charge.
You wimp. I gave you a chance.
To be fair, it's hard to say that Gary Clark was moving, because Gary Clark didn't know that he was going to get hit.
Yeah. But at the same time, too, there, I bet Jordan Usher would love your explanation on the ground bound rather than the airborne player. You see it in full time here.
And so that's the difference, right? If Jordan Usher doesn't take that last step and instead jumps up and he's in the air when that contact happens, then the charge circle comes into play and we could be having a different conversation altogether.
Unsuccessful call. Hawks leading by 2. Wanting to get the ball to Clark. Why not? He's got the hot hand. Got the matchup on Pinder. Uses his experience and his strength and his class.
Man.
And helps himself to another 2.
When Illawarra are deliberate with their offensive sets, obviously we've seen them have 9 turnovers in this ball game. Just trying to run too fast and make these crazy plays. Here, they get a simple cross screen, get the ball to your best player in one of his favorite spots on the floor, and then just space out and let him go to work as he draws the end one day.
This has been their DNA under Justin Tatum. Is it points in the paint? Number 1 in the competition. They go to Clark, they go to Froley.
The whole dynamic, the whole style of play changed because, again, in the start of the season, they were very guard dominant, understandably so with Robinson's pedigree, coming in off a year of being injured, Tyler Harvey. And he changed it and said, you know what, we're going to really feed Gary Clark, we're going to feed Sam Froling early, who's done most of his best work in the first halves of games. And Tyler Harvey will find his spots. Now Justin Robinson gets a different look, and it's had a lot of success. And the more we watch Gary Clark play in this, the harder it's going to be to lead that man off the All-NBL first team.
He's on mine, Pete.
He has been enormous. On cue.
He's going to his full bag of tricks. He's knocked down 4 triples. He goes to work in the paint and now just a little mid-range. And that is why you think he will be an NBL All-Team?
Absolutely. As you said, Pete, they change, right? Tatum comes in and understands that Clark is their guy. Get him the ball.
And this time he turns it over. Matt Russell, you want to get in on the conversation?
Yeah, Gary Clark, so consistent as we look at Usher elevate and dunk just to suck a bit of momentum away from the Hawks. But Gary Clark averaging against Perth this season 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He has 17 points before half-time. You say that you might have him in your NBL first. Where would you have him in the MVP race? And if he's nowhere near Bryce Cotton yet, how many more games would he have needed to be able to apply real pressure to Bryce, do you reckon?
Well, it's hard to answer that without wondering if Bryce Cotton's going to stop or slow down or just sit out a few games. There's the dunk from Jordan Usher, saying he's got a bit of push from behind. Bryce Cotton's got that. It's hard to even entertain the hypotheticals.
Nah, but no doubt, Gary Clark, he was consistent early in the season, but he's elevated the back half of this season without a doubt.
The more interesting part about the MVP race is really, I can't wait to see the 2, 3, 4 spots underneath. Is who's everybody voted for? We take there from Hiram Harris after Bryce Cotton. Can you make the case for the 2 elite superstars from New Zealand? They've been unreal.
Okay, 1 shot.
You're prepared to give us your team, Source, your All-NBL team, first team?
Yep.
Give us...
First team, I have Bryce Cotton. I have my running mate in Mitch Creek.
Yep.
I have Anthony Lamb. I have Gary Clark. And I have CG43 from Melbourne United. So all those players, I feel like, really had a massive impact on their team and showed their value throughout this NBL24 campaign.
Hard to argue with. On the 3 big men. Pete, you at one stage thought there might be 5 guards in the team.
Well, if you're going to, I mean, Anthony Lamb can play 3 or 4. I mean, Mitch Creek's the same.
Harris again, back-to-back buckets.
And Gary Clark, they're very similar as well. We've seen Gary Clark slide down to the 3, so we want to get technical, Joe.
No, Froling. Fed from Robinson. He's getting in the act too. He's got 10. Clark's got 17. They're going to work.
They're not keen on slowing it down too much. Any opportunity they get.
But this is high-level, playoff-type basketball here. A lot of points in the paint. We're seeing guys knock down some open threes here and there, but teams are living in the paint right now, trying to get fouls and finishing through contact. That's what you're going to need if you're going to play in the playoffs.
And another offensive rebound and another 2. Well, I mean, Matt Russell and Brad Rosen did show us pre-game. These are 2 of the top 3 hottest teams since round 8, with Melbourne United in between. That's why it's such high-quality basketball as Harris for a 3rd consecutive.
That's the speed.
Offensive possession. Has dropped the shoulder, helps himself to another couple. He's got 10 points, Hiram Harris. There's Blanchfield and gives away the foul. Blanchfield to go to the stripe.
Justin Tatum wants a charge on that Hiram Harris take. He's not happy at all. And then Hiram Harris commits the foul. He'll sit down with 3 fouls. It's been a revelation, though, to this team since coming into the starting lineup. Every good lineup needs a glue guy that can impact a game without needing the ball in their hands. He's been that for the Wildcats.
But I also think, too, we've seen this year from Hiram Harris this ability to score the basketball as well. Now, we're not talking about through the leg, step back stuff, but he's knocking down open threes when he gets them available at times.
And of course, this ladder predictor, everyone has been working feverishly all week to try and figure out what's going to happen, but let's be honest, we've got no idea. We need to sit through this final round, so make sure that you jump on the Mitsubishi Motors ladder predictor. Just head to the NBL app, give it a try, you work it out. I've got Illawarra finishing 4th. Brisbane miss out, I think, Pete. That's what my ladder predictor told me.
They lose.
Sydney sneak into 6th. But I've got Sydney beating South East Melbourne, and you're telling me, Source, you're confident South East can win this weekend, so who knows? There's Saar. The easy one under the bucket.
Paint touch, paint touch, paint touch. Another one. Here we go. It's just, it is non-stop paint activity, and that's what you're going to see at this last part of the season in round 20 and going into the finals.
Both teams shooting over 50% from the field. Just talks to your point. A lot of baskets in the paint in this one. Both teams aggressive offensively.
This will be a little frustrating for John Riley too, with how well Perth have played the back end of the season. Just defensively, 48 points on the board with 3.5 minutes to go for Illawarra. They won very convincingly last weekend to the Taipans, but 57 at halftime to Cairns. They lost a couple of games before that.
Spoke to the habits, Al, don't you, bet coming into the finals time, you want to have the good habits, and it's a challenge for them to continue to play at the same level they've played at for so long. I mean, they've gone 15-4 since that slow start. It's hard to stay up, but they've lost 2 of their last 4. Just a little bit scratchy at the moment.
Absolutely, and where you have to have it is the defensive end. We've seen in the past years in the NBL, the champions are top 2, top 3 in the defensive category all the time. It's the metric that we see, and as we see Alexander Sarr there just beasting and going through contact to finish at the basket. But no, the defensive end is where you're going to win a championship, and I don't think that anyone in the NBL would say different.
Sarr, 7 points in 7 minutes. Some real influence. So now Harvey pulls up to the mid-range.
Even a possession like that, that was a lazy switch. Doolittle and Ty Webster. It didn't have to occur. Just want to try and fight through, see if there's a screen worth staying with.
Usher again continuing to be aggressive. He and Harris in this second quarter have been able to get to the paint at will, and so does Robinson.
Whatever team decides to stop the other team is going to win this game. I know that's a pretty obvious statement, but this is just wild. We're seeing basket after basket.
Entertaining for all of us. High octane as Usher now tries his luck from long range again for the 3rd time in this quarter.
That's what I was talking about. The defense just not being quite locked in. Watch this from Ty Webster. Slides underneath that. You switch on contact. There's no screen there from Gary Clark, and he just turns around and Doolittle says, are we switching or not? And Tyler Harvey walks into a mid-range, which is basically a free throw. That's not the defense we saw in that middle part of the season from Perth when they were locked in there. Ty Webster's not saying, okay, we're not switching anything unless there's contact. I'm going to fight over this, because Tyler Harvey's an elite ball screen player. Just that little bit hasn't been locked in here in the first half. And that's why there's 53 points on the board
Was that for the last thing
for the Hawks.
down there?
Just a behaviour warning on John Riley.
2 shots, guys.
He picks up one every game. As does Mike Kelly. He gets a lot too, doesn't he? Behaviour warnings. I think most of the coaches do.
Early shower last week. never thought I was going to see that.
Oh, man. Couldn't believe it myself.
Were the boys able to have a bit of a
that would have been
joke
a fine.
or anything?
That's a fine, Carl.
Yeah, surely a fine.
Yeah.
Team fine for sure from us. But a bit of a laugh, too, because everybody knows
it's not Mike.
How Mike is, yeah.
Inside the final 2 minutes, Bryce Cotton. He went to work one-on-one. And Sparkle the bullet couldn't get it to fall. Just 3 points in this second term. He's still got 11 as Peeling. Euro step of some sort. Couldn't quite get it to fall, but he'll get to the free throw line.
Oh, we're going to look at the replay potentially. This might be a between state line step rather than Euro step. I wouldn't say he went too far. That's
not bad.
Enough to avoid the person taking the charge there. We all know Jesse Wagstaff is going to take a charge.
He made it to Bali and back. Like,
Take a left, right, a little step.
I wouldn't say there was a heap of change of direction in that. That's a Bali trip.
Enough, though, for sure. This last 2 minutes is going to be crucial how the Perth Wildcats in this half defensively, right? They got to get back to their form that we saw in that middle part of the year. It's 53 points is far too many to go into a halftime with.
37 points between the three superstars for Illawarra as well, so it's not like they're getting beat by guys coming in, knocking down a heap of shots. Gary Clark's got 17, and Tyler Harvey and Sam Froling have 10 apiece.
And for the most part, all their baskets are to scout, too. They're right on the scouting report.
Ben Henschel into the game.
Defense from Peatley. See the free throws, only shooting at 50% from the free throw line. Illawarra leaving a few out there, 8 of 16. It's been a good quarter. Outscoring Perth by 8. Clark had the hot hand, that was halfway down. Saar just coughs it up.
These are the little things that Sauce is talking about with habits, right? With these games that potentially don't mean a whole lot for Perth, being some dead rubber ones. If the rotations change, we've seen Ben Henschel, we saw Michael Harris. It's all about playing the same way, the same style.
And again, a tip from Peatling will give them another possession. And this time, he could have gone straight up. But they're in the bonus anyway.
1-0. Clock, -2.
12 O-boards. All the Hawks in this first half. Those in the first quarter. We've got 11 turnovers, otherwise this might be a little bit more flattering, the margin.
28 rebounds to 10.
Hard to win a basketball game when you're giving up that many, or have that kind of differential in the rebound department.
Here comes Corey Webster into the game, and this is not surprising. These are the kind of rotations I was expecting from John Riley in this game. I said it's such a unique situation for the Wildcats because as it stands, they're going to be playing either the Hawks or their next game, their final game against Tassie in the 3-game semi-final series after the international break.
This is another free throw. So not surprising that Corey Webster checks in, but hasn't had any minutes these last 3 games. Just going with a bit of experience and a cool head.
And I think there's an understanding, too, that he's a player that Perth is going to have to rely on if they want to make a deep finals run.
He's a professional bucket getter, but on the other Hawks front, the free throws are starting to be a little concerning. 9 of 18 in this one. You go back to the game they lost against Cairns on Lat Mayen's buzzer beater. I think they missed 11 free throws, something around that mark, and they lose on a buzzer beater. They've got to go to the free throw line. If they're getting there 18 times, they need to be knocking down a whole lot more.
That's right. They probably might resent not putting them away earlier in this first half, as Webster straight away had a good look. And here's the second chance opportunity for Bryce Cotton. That's where he always kills you. Offensive rebound. They find him in the corner, and he's got 14 points.
He's made a living off of it, right, guys? We've seen it for so many years now. He finds that little bit of space, wherever it may be, to find himself on the offensive rebound kick out.
3 of 3 from beyond the arc now, 4 of 6 from the field. It's Robinson looking in good touch.
That's
helps
tough.
himself to another couple.
That's tough.
They keep that lead out to 6. Cotton there with his tail up. Aquera getting some minutes now. So they are going to the bench, looking for Cotton. Hickey denied it, but wide open. That's what you get. Way off the mark. There's Ben Henschel. So it'll be Illawarra with the final possession of this first half. It's Clark who's going to cough it up, and it might be Bryce Cotton with the final points. He gives it back to Henschel, and then,
what a block.
Amazing block.
Dave O'Hickey coming out of nowhere. I thought Ben Henschel had that. Hickey not giving up on the play.
Well, you were looking at the block from Hickey. I was more worried about Henschel and the way that he fell. That's so glad he got to his feet, but talk us through it, Pete.
Look at Hickey just coming out of nowhere.
It's Hickey, and we'll quickly get round to courtside. Brad Rosen has Gary Clark.
I do have Gary Clark here. 50 points given up against Perth, a lot of turnovers. Coach Tatum, what have you thought of that first half?
We just going too fast, not cherishing the ball. This late in the season, it's basically playoff atmosphere. You know, what would you do in 2 or 3 weeks? We wouldn't be moving this fast. We would cherish the ball a lot more. So we just got to lock in a little bit more, take care of the ball, and play together, make them play more defense.
You got 17 points at half, feeling very good out there. Where do you feel that's coming from?
Just the ball moving side to side. You know, I'm really unselfish, so when it comes to taking early shots, we all generate better production when the ball moves left to right and everyone touches it. So I think that's just emphasis. Coach is just telling everyone to move the ball left to right.
Thanks so much. Good luck for the second half.
Yes, thank you.
Well, it's a massive game to start a massive final round in Hungry Jack's NBL. Stick with us at halftime. Matty Russell, Brad Rosen will talk us through it. It's the Hawks leading the Wildcats by 6 points.
I love the NBL. I wouldn't have been here if I didn't. It's been unbelievable, and the Wollongong community has just been great. Anything I ever need, they're always there for myself, for my wife. And the talent in this league has grown each and every year, which is also fun to be a part of. The competitive nature of this league it's unmatched. It's unbelievable. One of the most physical leagues that I've ever played in, and that's fun as a player because you have to find things in your game that you have to improve on and different ways to score. And I really enjoy it, man. It's one of the most fun leagues in the entire world.
Now Harvey, he likes to look at the 3 ball. My! Tyler Harvey with a massive shot.
It's going to be Tyler Harvey. You know special. It will be.
He's done it before.
From the logo. Harvey!
I just try to take what the game gives me. And in those moments, you shouldn't have to think. It should just become natural, and you should react to what you see out there. So for me, during those moments, it's sort of, you're just locked into your flow. You black out in those stages, and whatever happens, happens, man. Hopefully you try to get the best shot you can, whether that's for yourself or your teammate. And if it goes in, great. And if it doesn't, you know, you get back up and you go again the next day, man. So that's how I try to look at those moments.
He's got 10 points in the first half for Illawarra. Tyler Harvey, 4 of 10 shooting. Brad Rosen. Sam Proling also with 10, but leading the way is Gary Clark. The Hawks lead the way at the break, 56-50. As we jump into the Hungry Jacks highlights, let's celebrate this form, this NBL career, 1 season short of Gary Clark.
Outstanding, all NBL first team guaranteed in my opinion. It's the way that he can go inside and outside. His stroke from the outside is great, but then he's able to do different things. Look up there, right, just pull up over anyone. But then he can take you down low as well. And then he does the shake, fake, pop, takes the jump shot. He is an outstanding baller, and what I love is I just spoke to him there, and it's all about things that they can do better, not what they're doing good. And you look at the Blackmore shot tart, 75%, 80 and 100. You cannot ask for more.
He comes up with the right option at the right time for the Illawarra Hawks. Bryce Cotton has more made field goals in the first half tonight than he's had in 2 games against Illawarra so far. I can tell you he wasn't happy with that second quarter. He stormed into the rooms at halftime. In no mood for a halftime interview, he means business.
Well, I love what Peter Hurley said at half. He is an absolute superstar. Bad out of bounds play there for Illawarra, and yet that allows him to get going. But he is a weapon, Bryce Cotton, and he is not happy if he's not playing well and his team is not playing well. So I love that. I love that he's angry, and watch him to come out here. You look at his Blackmore shot chart, there's nothing wrong with that. But when we saw Bryce, I think it was 11 at quarter time, he'll be upset that that didn't go on and do 20 or 25.
Real quickly, 11 or 13-3 is the O board count in favour of the Hawks. 13-3, but the Hawks have their own problem, right?
Yeah, they have 12 turnovers, so as good as they are on the offensive glass, it's 12 turnovers. But you look at the rebound count, 31-13 in favour of Illawarra. They're just lucky that they're turning the ball over, or this Perth team would be down by 15-20. It's a great game, great second half.
What happens in the second half? Is it the Hawks cutting their turnovers? Is it the Wildcats getting on the glass? Tomorrow, what do the Breakers do against the Bullets? New Zealand with 2 games to go in the final round. Can they fall into the 6? Can Brisbane stay there? What a race it is, and this game will be pivotal, followed straight away by Cairns, Melbourne United.
I'll be locked in on the couch, can't wait, Matty.
2 games tomorrow, 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. Bryce and the boys, they're back on the floor. They're ready to go. The second half coming your way next.
Bunnings is backing the next generation of ballers.
Today we're going to have a heap of fun.
We're at the Sandringham Sabres.
The St Kilda Sabres put on a show today.
These ballers from Real came out to see us a couple weeks ago.
They're huge basketball fans.
Today we welcome the Blackburn Vikings down to John Cain Arena. It's the boss man, Charlie!
Bunnings Warehouse done an amazing job getting all these families along, having all the kids there, 3,000 over the season, 14 games. Just being a part of it is going to be really special.
We're just returning the favor. We're excited to see their moves. Let's go, buddy! Hey!
What up?
Hey, mate, so give me some love, brother.
Fuck it! There it is!
One day I'd love to play for the Cairns Tigers.
What are you guys most looking forward to when you come to an NBL game?
To see how you guys play.
Good job, everyone. Great job. Great job. High five. Keep up the work.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
3, 2, 1, Yeah, the Bunnings backing ballers has given thousands of junior ballers across the country the opportunity to experience an NBL game day with their families and support their favourite teams. We thank Bunnings Warehouse for their amazing continued support this season in backing junior ballers.
Here's the live ladder. Mitsubishi Motors live ladder to get ready for this second half. And yeah, Perth are going to hold on to second spot. We know that Illawarra are just trying to keep that fourth spot and set up. First game of the play-in tournament against Tasmania.
Alan Williams, what did you make of the first half?
First half was a bit chaotic at times for the Illawarra Hawks. Obviously, they found a way to still score 56 points. A lot of that was due to Perth's faults on the defensive end. Anytime you're allowing 12 offensive rebounds in a half, it's going to be tough to stop someone. Both teams need to just settle down, get to what they know. Again, Perth already knows that they're in second position. Illawarra are still fighting for their playoff lives, and so hopefully we get a great fight.
It's going to be interesting to see. Let's see how the first few minutes go and then how the rotations go to end the game.
I love listening to Gary Clark. He told the boys at halftime we wouldn't be playing that fast if it was the play-in or the playoffs. So let's see if they get the style of basketball they want. That's not the shot they want to start this second half.
Clark didn't want to shoot it either. His teammate Sam Froling screaming.
Of course, the scenario is for the Illawarra Hawks. They win and they are in. They've only got to win one of these two games as Pinder.
Now,
from long range.
Yeah, Justin Tatum saying it's a travel. I think he's got a good case. When Pinder caught that, he then jumped to the left or just trying to get his feet right. And Justin Tatum wasn't upset. He was just saying, hey, that's a travel. Good knockdown from Pinder.
Just his second field goal, 5 points for him in the game. As I said earlier, he's just had the 9 and 9 in the two meetings against the Hawks. I want to talk about Bryce Cotton against Illawarra. There's Clark, can't get his second, but there is another offensive rebound. And Froling again.
The effort has been there.
Absolutely, and when you take good shots, you set yourself up for better opportunities to get offensive rebounds. A lot of these shots that the Illawarra Hawks are shooting right now are good shots, and even if they miss, they have the big fella, Sam Froling or Garrett Clark or whoever it is, getting that old board.
Froling, heavy screen on Doolittle.
Shoe off, it looked like.
That left lead wide open.
This is worrying here for Christian Doolittle. He's holding his shoulder, it looks like. He's holding his shoulder, it looks like. This is a terror screen from Sam Froling.
So it's potentially a bit of an AC joint or maybe just the shoulder blade. Hopefully he's okay.
He's tough too. It's not what Perth need right now.
My question now to you, Pete. Obviously, Doolittle goes down as we see him walking back to the change room. Does this change how you look at the rest of this game now if you're John Rillie? Are you starting to think maybe I need to make sure I'm getting my high minute guys a little bit more rest towards the end of this game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would have gone into it thinking like that. Whether that accelerates the thinking. But yeah, Christian Doolittle is so important to this team.
Here's Usher. And he's up to 10 points.
I'm sure the boys will be all over that. Hopefully it's nothing. It's a bit of a stinger with the shoulder.
Just caught him off guard. He wasn't expecting it and braced it all. As Clark's left wide open. He's missed his first 3 shots to start this third quarter.
Those terror screens, though, back to the hit. Those terror screens are, you know, if someone call it out, When you get hit, you feel those.
And Sam Froling, a big boy, too.
Turnover, uncharacteristic from Bryce Cotton. Opens the door for Swaka the Bullock.
Love that in transition for Swaka Bullock there. Just taking his time, using his feet and his pace, hanging in the air a bit, taking the contact and getting the finish.
Here's Hiram Harris again, looking to be aggressive. Pete, you want to take us through it again?
So this is the terrace screen. So if you counter pin it, you've got to be screaming out to Christian Doolittle. It just catches it again in slow-mo. You see, the issue is we so often see terrace screens on guards, right? Very rarely do you see it with a power forward, and when you don't have a chance to brace yourself, that's when things occur. That's why it's so important to be able to communicate that as quickly as you see it, and hopefully when the boys are over it, it's just nothing more than a stinger.
Why don't you just not waste the time, sub him out, get it done properly, and then he can come back in.
Frustration from the referee there. It's Froling. He's going to go get looked at as well. Sam Froling is really important in this game, particularly on the glass. It says that 3 rebounds, but a couple of them have been at the offensive end, 12 points. And Harris having a big game offensively.
And really his impact, Sam Froling's impact, goes to spacing as well. He's creating these seal opportunities and creating lanes for his guards to be able to get downhill, and also occupying that other defender when Gary Clark is on the low block or in the mid post trying to work and get a bucket.
Knocks down both. He's up to 12 points. Season high of 14 for Hiram Harris. He did against your South East Melbourne back in round 11, so he's on track for a season high. I've not spoken about his influence since he came into the starting lineup. They're in all sorts of trouble early in the year. Harvey, left wide open. Pete Hooley, I see you shaking your head.
I mean, they've done that a couple of times. I'm not sure what happened, why you're leaving Tyler Harvey. Again, unless there's a screen set to switch. How many times have we seen this from Hiram Harris? Normally off a made bucket as well, but defensively, just not locked in. There's no screen there. There's no reason to be that far off Tyler Harvey.
That's now an equal season high for Hiram Harris. We get down to Brad Rosen.
Yeah, so Doolittle's gone into the change room. He did not look good at all. He was really holding that shoulder. The physio's come out without Doolittle. I asked him, how is he? No update. I said, will he be going back on the court? No update. Obviously doesn't sound good.
Well, that doesn't sound good. Hopefully nothing too serious, and it is just precautionary. As you said, Al, there's no need to take any risks for the Perth Wildcats. They are going to finish in second spot.
But a definite positive to take from this game already is Hiram Harris's performance. Him just getting the ball in transition, doing what he can, and using his strength to his advantage, getting down with that left hand. He's finishing everything around the basket right now for him.
What about Matt Russell? You got an update on Sam Froling?
Yeah, he's back out there, split lip, no stitches required, blood removed, into the game.
They wasted no time getting him back in as Pinder couldn't get that to go, but they'll keep possession. And just quietly, Hiram Harris has got a personal best, a new record, 15 points for him, career high.
It's been exceptional. Again, just putting the head down, getting to his left hand, and most of them have come off made baskets.
There he is. Looking to get the ball with Cotton. He's got the 14 points. 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 3 from long range. And then shows off with the left.
Oh, that's tough. I think you saw 3 or 4 different defenders there as he made his way to the basket and getting back to that left hand on a beautiful finish from Bryce Cotton.
Pete Hooley, you were very confident that the Hawks weren't going to stop him 3 games in a row.
Well, no one ever has, really. That's just all what he does. These are personal challenges that you've won titles, you won MVPs. Those kind of little in-season challenges mean a lot to... I'm acting like I'm speaking from experience. Not even close, but they would, right? When you want champions, so it's like, what else can not just get you up, but excite you to be out on the floor? Yeah, something like that.
No, I think a bit of it is us in the media space as well. Like we get a lot really hung up on these past couple of games where we've seen these Illawarra Hawks really find something that has disrupted Bryce Cotton's rhythm, and I know he's seeing it, and it's probably like, you know what, this is going to be my time to show everybody why I am who I am. And he's gone out there tonight, really focused, super efficient, and again, really engaged on the defensive end as well.
And I think that's probably where he thought about how I can beat this, right? I start being aggressive on the defensive end. I let the game come to me. He's taking 7 shots for his 16 points. He's not forcing anything. Other players wouldn't do the same, right? They try and force their way out of it.
Of course, don't miss your chance to be part of the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. They take to the court with moments of extreme basketball, innovation and fan fun coming down under to a city near you. Make sure you get your tickets, www.hg2024.nbl.com.au. Did you ever see the Globetrotters, Source, when you were a youngster?
Absolutely. I mean, I try to spin the basketball on all 5 fingers on my hand because of the Harlem Globetrotters growing up and watching them play. So I'm sure that Australian and New Zealand tour is going to be phenomenal. Hopefully all the families out there that enjoy fun, entertaining basketball can make their way over.
Just a 2-point lead now to Illawarra. Wagstaff into the game. Usher, Pinder and Webster. It's been aggressive. Usher gives up the look this time. Webster eyeballs Tyler Harvey. Got it to Wagstaff. And scores are all tied up.
Spinning around, losing vision, but when you have your bigs in the dunker and creating that space, they're always going to be there when you need them. And he just found Jesse Wagstaff there for an easy dump off.
Clark yet to score in this term. At the 17 points in the first half. They go to Froling. One-on-one against Pinder. Webster comes and supports, but Froling does what he does best.
And it could be a technical foul coming here because John really is irate. They thought they missed the travel, and I think they did, to be honest. Sachs missed that one. It looked like a travel. Gary Clark called the ball, but that evens out. Counter Pinder travelled at the start.
Already had the behaviour warning.
So it was right before that, before the pass went in, and then John really was still barking. Sam Froling did well to play through the contact.
But you're hearing John really there say, no left, no left, no left. And Keanu Pinder is still playing on that side.
That's what John really got the technical for. Honestly. Yeah, I mean, he was upset, wasn't he? I thought it was going to be a more clear cut.
Again, looking to be aggressive, these Perth Wildcats.
On the flip side, I think one of those technical fouls where something little like that, but I'm trying to spark something here with my team. We've been flat in this game. We've been up 67 points, 14 offensive rebounds, a lot of effort plays we aren't locked in for. So I'm coming in hot. I'm going to get teed up, and hopefully it sparks something.
Maybe that's what we saw there from Keanu Pinder as he tried to attack Sam Froling, just went right into his body, drew the foul, and is kind of giving his coach that, yeah, man, you got me going. I'm riled up now.
Keanu Pinder said his last 3 games, he had the 18 and 9 against Cairns, 21 and 15 rebounds against New Zealand, and 23 points and 11 boards against Southeast Melbourne. He's been in good touch, quiet tonight. He misses both those free throws. Already given away the cheeseburgers tonight, first quarter. He's going to pick up a foul. It's his 3rd foul. 4 on Hiram Harris, 2 on Ty Webster and Saar, as well as Doolittle. Only Sam Froling with 3 fouls. Any sort of trouble for the Hawks. Hickey, good find to Clark.
You could hear the entire Wildcats bench yelling out, protect the basket. Gary Clark still gets in there.
And I love what Gary Clark did there. He found this opportunity in this space and knew he was going to get the basket as he makes his cut here. Right there, gets the contact, understands where he is, understands Wagstaff's there, slows down a bit to draw that foul and get the
and if you're the Wildcats, so 2 things. Jordan Usher is just way too front on. You've got to be angling your body where you're protecting that pass, where you can try and force it to the corner. And Ty Webster's got to be 2 more steps over in the split line. Still eyes on Justin Robertson, but then Gary Clark has to go around Ty Webster as well. Just another 2 guys just falling asleep a little bit.
And there is the cardinal sin. Fouling Bryce Cotton from beyond the arc, and not only that, he drains it. 4 from 4. 19 points.
Here's the Harvey Norman replay. Just lost Dave O'Hickey. Justin Tatum said straight away, no way. It doesn't matter though, because he went in, and there may have been a challenge coming potentially if the Bryce Cotton didn't make it. No, we've seen these challenges before. The one shot after, where it's kind of pointless to challenge.
You saw Hickey, he just lost Cotton for half a second.
And that's all it was. And that's all it takes. He knows where to, like I said, find that little bit of space. All he needs is a break of daylight. That thing's going up and usually going down.
20 points for Bryce Cotton, and there he's on the defensive end. You've spoken about it, Sauce. And then he sets up Saar, and all of a sudden scores a tide.
Just Alexander Shaw's so fluid in transition. For someone of his size, the way he moves and runs down the floor is very fluid and natural, which has to be one of the main reasons why he's potentially the #1 pick, right, Pete?
I'm speaking into existence. I've just started referring to him as the #1 pick.
Yeah.
Tyler Harvey with the floater, 16 points.
So we're not wrong until we're wrong.
Yeah.
Wagstaff slips into the 3. Cotton again, just upping the ante on the defensive end, and then met by Clark. The two superstars going at it.
Oh, he wants it.
And now he wants to just, halfway down, Gary Clark up for the challenge.
What a chase down. Firstly, Bryce Cotton, he had to pick one side, he got it right, and then Gary Clark just chased him down.
Give me that.
What a block.
I like the little look too from Cotton, just to acknowledge, he almost gave a little nudge. Let's go down courtside.
Loudest cheer of the night, not for a made bucket, but for that play from Gary Clark to deny Bryce Cotton. Interesting that Sam Froling just picked up his 3rd foul a few moments ago. Justin Tatum leaving his big man out there, sending Lockie Aldrich on, but leaving Sam out there losing 3.
And it paid dividends. Another offensive rebound. As there's some big news, Brad Rosen, what do you see?
There is some big news. Doolittle's just come out of the change room. The Illawarra doctor was called, and we can see it there. He's in a sling. We did mention it didn't look good. Illawarra doctor has had a look. Don't know the actual prognosis. Scans will happen over the next few days, but as you can see, he's in a sling. We won't see him again tonight.
That's huge. As we know, in terms of importance, Christian Doolittle has been unbelievable for this turnaround for the Perth Wildcats. Here's everything that transpired just then.
Might just be having a look at the Webster contact around the neck. Of course, remember Perth Wildcats back to Christian Doolittle played Tassie on Saturday night.
A few words just said there. Ty Webster just having a few words to say.
Thank you. So I think they might be just looking at that.
I think they were looking at just to have a quick look to see if there's anything above the shoulders. Anything around the neck or anything we have a quick look at, but replay centers had a quick gaze over and said all good. Common foul.
So the Hawks from the inbound. Blanchfield. Froling wants to get downhill again. He's been able to get to the free throw line a number of times tonight, and he'll get there again.
And that's something Sam Froling does as well as any big man in the NBL. That keeper dribble, right? Fake you up, slow step, slow process. You think he's going into that dribble handoff and just boom. Quick move, gets the contact and gets to the foul.
Got to be on the scout, right? Everybody knows that's what he does.
Has to be. Usually coming from his left hand, though. Right there, he did it with the right, and that's probably what threw Alexander Shaw off a bit.
2 of 5, though, from the stripe. You can see they're shooting just over 50% from the free throw line. Might be costly, and he misses both again.
Another one. 12 of 24. Now they are shooting just 50%.
They are keeping the door ajar for this Wildcat side. The defense from Froling. And Alexander Starr. Robinson with the bullet. Blanchfield with the finish.
And that right there from Sam Froling, I heard JJ Redick talking about it during the week. That's called the Gortat screen, where you have no impact on the play and you kind of just throw your player out, basically seal or shepherd, so that someone can get an easy drive to the lane.
Big shout out to the Polish hammer.
Oh, I didn't think I had that on my bingo card for February. I've been hearing so much. Martin Gortat.
Martin Gortat.
Robinson, another great find. This time to Hickey. Very quickly, they're back out to 6 points.
And that's what he brings to this Illawarra Hawks squad, is that court vision and the ability to make those tougher passes.
Saar, a 3-point shot away. Hadn't had an attempt for the last 4 weeks. And now there's a bit more out of Hickey and Webster again. Don't tell me there's no feeling in this one. Crowder into it.
0. Grab.
Webster's loving it, and Hickey will go to the free throw line.
Just a scrum for it. Who wants it more? Both teams showing
I love it.
that they're scrappy.
So this was moments ago.
So I think he's just said a little bit. That was right there. And after that, Ty Webb's had a few more things to say.
Let's get down courtside. Matt Russell for an update.
The crowd loves Will Hickey. I know he had 11 points in 16 minutes against Sydney, but it's his effort plays in the last few games that the Illawarra faithful really relate to. They think Will Hickey reflects the ethos of this region. His effort, the way that he gets into the game, despite sitting on the bench for much of it. I spoke to Justin Tatum before the game and he said very much Will Hickey is symbolic of how we're going as a team.
It certainly is. See the snooze time out, and we've been treated. We were hoping to see the 2 superstars in action tonight, Bryce Cotton and Gary Clark. They both lead their sides with 20 points. We just thought we'd take a bit of a different look. There's all this talk about the MVP and the All-NBL team. This is our Foot Locker player of the game throughout the season. You can see there, Bryce Cotton. Remarkably though, Source, his first Foot Locker player of the game came in round 6. He's won 13 of the last 19 games the Wildcats have played. And Gary Clark, you see down there with 6. He didn't win his first Foot Locker player of the game till round 13.
Yeah.
He's won it 6 of the last 11 games. In fact, he's won it 6 of the last 7 wins for the Illawarra Hawks, just to show the influence that he's had getting this team back into the top 4.
And that goes to show you the turning point almost for both teams during the season. That round 6 one from Bryce Cotton was the one that's like, oh, wow, they figured it out. They figured out that he has to be their guy to score the basketball in bunches. Same with the Illawarra Hawks. Once Gary Clark got this thing going, the Illawarra Hawks shot up the Mitsubishi Motors ladder.
Absolutely. 2 of the most informed players in the competition. He's back 2/3 of the season, back half of the year. Hickey is going to try and knock down both. They get it out to 8 points. Brad Rosen, you got an update on Christian Doolittle?
Yeah, further update. My understanding is it's a scapular injury. Now, a scapular injury is a bone located on the back of your shoulder, between the shoulder and the spine. Now, they're going to have tests later on. If it is a fracture, that is a 6 to 12 week recovery.
That's going to be a massive story to come out of this game for John Riley and his men. Christian Doolittle only missed the 2 games this year. Robinson again, and there's your man Hickey getting the crowd up and about, and it's the first double-digit lead of the night.
I mean, David Hickey's been enormous, but Justin Robinson in transition is like lightning. How quickly he gets down the floor.
They have up the ante here, the Illawarra Hawks.
Put 80 on the ball with a minute to go in the 3rd.
And they're looking to put the foot down. Hickey again! Look at the bench. This is what it means to these Hawks.
Have yourself a night, Hickey. Man, he's coming out firing on all cylinders, getting out in transition, making defensive stops, and the gong is on fire.
They're all on their feet. This final minute of the 3rd quarter could be a season-defining quarter. Robinson, he's feeling good about himself. It was halfway down. And now Saar just bails out. They'll kick the ball out. Wagstaff called for it. They hand off to Cobb. He moves out the way, allows Saar to go to work on the youngster Olbrich. They'll keep possession.
Energizer Bunny, look how quickly that moved from Justin Robinson. Up goes Davo Hickey, and then he had success with the back door one time, so he said, I'll do it again. Different type of finish, same result.
10 points for Davo Hickey, and that huge block that stopped a certain bucket just before half-time.
The crowd's absolutely loving it in Wollongong right now. He gets a massive ovation almost.
And Olbrich, the youngster on the 15-year veteran. Can they get a stop? Wagstaff couldn't get it to fall. They will get a last chance. Huge finish to this third quarter by Illawarra. Robinson with a rush of blood. He's going to be able to get to the free throw line. It's going to be a block.
And Robinson has been the spark. As much as Hickey has gone out there and made some really great, tough, heady type of plays, the more skilled play, right, has been Robinson in transition, and his ability to pass the ball and hit his players right in the pocket to set them up for easy baskets.
The Hawks had lost a couple of games. They brought him back in the starting lineup after playing well. There's nothing wrong with him playing starters minutes off the bench. He sees a different looking game. He sees it unfold, and he's come in and he can lead whatever unit's out there, which usually the bench unit. And he's done that really well in this one.
Importantly, gets them both to fall. It's a big lead now, 14 points. Wagstaff, all that experience, able to get himself to the free throw line.
And those are the fouls, right, that you want to get rid of before you go into finals competition, because you just can't have Jesse Wagstaff there, not the fastest guy, we can all say. Just back up, make him shoot a tough one, and get there without fouling.
Baseline to baseline right now. You taking it?
I want to say yes.
You back yourself?
I want to say yes, but you know I had the little niggle there, so I gotta.
Well, I should say fully fit. I should say no.
Fully fit, yeah.
Not just straight. What's more really concerning? I know the 84 3/4 is concerning. 43 rebounds to 18. They are getting beat up on the glass. This has been an issue for Perth the last couple of seasons. They fixed it this year.
Can they get one more shot away? Robinson will try his luck from half court. Oh, he liked it off the hand, but it was a big third turn for the Illawarra Hawks. They know what's on the line for them. They've got the crowd up at about three-quarter time. They lead this one by 13 points.
Here comes Joshy, he's got 40 seconds. Keep going, Josh. There we go, three-point line. 25 seconds, the time is good. Two cards, Josh Pereira. That's the triple. 15 seconds, get behind him. 10 seconds.
Hawks are 10 good minutes away from locking up a top 4 finish and guaranteeing themselves at least one home final. They lead Perth 84-71 on the back of a big third quarter from Will Hickey. He's gone to 10 points, all effort, and the team certainly returns to the court with all the momentum, trying to become the first team to sweep Perth this season. In the huddle at three-quarter time, Justin Tatum said, "We took care of the ball, we ran, we took good shots, do it again to close it out." Brad Rosen, what was happening at Perth?
Well, John really was composed. He said, we can get this back and we've just got to do it slowly. One of the ways was crashing the glass, exactly what we saw there. He then said it's got to come from the defensive end. We've got to get stops, but more importantly, no second shots, no offensive rebounds for Illawarra.
A positive start there for Jordan Usher. I suppose the question is, how desperate do Perth get to try and win this? We've spoken that, yes, of course, they want winning momentum and good habits are important coming into the play-in, but they really can't move from second spot. So are they going to go all out?
Well,
I'm sure they will try.
Well, I think we all sat here thinking that out of their last 2 round 20 games, this was the one. Right, this is the one you want to try and go out there and win. Just play the right way, because you look at their last few results. They lost the 2 at home before beating Cairns, and Cairns took it to them. That was a 2-point game with 7 minutes to go in the 4th, and then they went on an unbelievable run. So have they been playing their best basketball? Probably not. Yes, the FIBA break will come, so everybody's going to have to hold momentum anyway. I just still want to see a bit more of the Perth basketball we saw in the middle half of the season, which was elite.
Well, we know they can flick a switch. We've seen them do it all season. It won't take them long to get back into it. It's whether the Hawks allow them to. Can they put them to the sword? That's going to help. Robinson from outside.
Just great patience there from the Illawarra Hawks. Got down in transition, didn't have it, swung it, took their time and found the open guy in Robinson as he walks into a wide open 3.
It's going to be an offensive foul. Just quietly, what we're talking about, Illawarra Hawks and the #1 team scoring in the paint. 6th, where are they at the moment? 7 of 22 from long range.
I just showed
get a
you.
few to fall.
Step across, drop your shoulder.
73 points they have on the board right now is more than enough to be well in front of three-quarter time. It's the rebounding and the defensive end. It's a foul on Tyler Harvey.
Hey, stop, I'm giving you an answer. Stop.
Ty Webster, just the 4 points, 2 of 8. He's just been quiet his last 3 games. Ty Webster, we know him through that hot patch. About 5 or 6 games where he was having some real influence. Been able to score the ball, but he's dried up lately. He's getting the boos from the Hawks fans after a couple of run-ins. There it is, getting louder and louder. And then the Bronx cheers as Pinder throws one down. Seen him do that plenty of times this season.
He's getting a bit frustrated. You can hear Keanu Pinder is waiting for something like that to let it all out.
So the boys talk about Tatum, please, that the Hawks took care of the ball in that third quarter. Just 3 turnovers after having 12 in that first half.
And here as we see the Harvey Norman replay. Great job by Aaron Harris getting the offensive rebound, and then Keanu Pinder coming down the middle of the paint with the flush.
Justin Robinson, excellent business decision.
Very much so.
There's just no need. As soon as he got into his stride, and you're not 6'4" and up, let the one go.
Gary Clark just having a word to the referee, just letting him know that, hey, this game's just starting to get a little bit of feeling in it. Just make sure you ref it appropriately.
Both these teams are on track to feature very heavily in the postseason, so we don't need anything outlandish, but this could go up from the Chemist Warehouse.
And we've seen him make those.
We have.
And Webster, I think he'll enjoy getting those boos. Might just spark him into action after a quiet game, draws the foul.
And we think they're going to come a bit louder now that you're sitting at a free throw line.
Seems like the type of guy that'll just lap it up. Sam Froling checks back in. Davo Hickey sits out with the 10 points, as we said, coming off 11 points. He was really instrumental in that win against the Kings last week, backing it up with another solid performance. Gary Clark picks up his 10th rebound, so 20 and 10 for the Starhawk. Here's Lee.
Just his first bucket, he was 0-5 before that. Even though he struggled to have the impact on the game, I thought defensively he was really good to start. I'm not changing the starting lineup. I think it works well. Justin Robinson is playing very well coming off the bench. Even though Lee might not have the impact we've seen at certain times in different games this season, I think their starting lineup should be set as is.
And Lee's their game breaker, right? He can knock down a big three when it really matters, when you really need it to happen. Hasn't been shooting it well as of late, but you know what he's capable of.
As you mentioned, they're 4 and 6. Justin Robinson coming off the bench and Lee starting alongside Harvey. As Gary Clark can see there with just 0.1 left on the shot clock.
Justin Robinson, Ty Webster.
There's a bit. We can feel it simmering.
Ty Webster looked like he had a few words to say to Gary Clark after that foul. And then Justin Robinson came in to have his teammates back.
I said that's dumb, but I'm saying go sit down, nigga. Sorry about that.
That's the 5th foul on Ty Webster.
Go sit down.
And he's confident right now from those Hawks fans.
That's what the cheers are for. Ty Webster fouls out of the game. Just the 5 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Did have the 5 assists. But that's him for the night. Maybe on the court it can just settle down a little bit. Of course, as we touched on earlier, Illawarra play Melbourne away on Sunday, their final home and away game. If they win this, it'll just be a matter of where they finish, 4th, 5th or 6th, depending on what happens Sunday.
Talking about the last few games of Perth, Ty Webster's, he's crucial for their success. The way he orchestrates the offense, the way he can play and kind of set everyone down. They talk about his character off the floor, which we know that. As Ben Henschel comes in, misses that one. But that game against Cairns, they just kept posting him up and kind of took him out of that game completely as well. This game, the 5 points, and he's been a little frustrated.
We've seen these past couple possessions here as Illawarra.
David Hickey wants a challenge. He's going to get it.
He is going to get the challenge, and we're going to have a snooze timeout. It's the Illawarra Hawks in a strong position, leading by 15 points.
Yeah, and so as I was saying previous to that, these past couple of possessions down the floor for the Perth Wildcats, they haven't gotten the ball to Bryce Cotton. If they want to get back into this game, as we watch here and see the coaches challenge, he has to get the ball. Oh, and that looks like it's off of.
He swore he didn't touch it. Assistant coach said, "You're the only one who can tell us this," and he was pleading, saying, "I did not touch it." So I think there's complete fake, and that is a fresh herring.
Dave O'Hickey didn't touch it, but I'm just wondering if it's off Pinder or Clark.
Well, that's going to be the issue.
That's
then,
where it's off. It's definitely not Hickey, but it's this whether.
Oh, yeah, I think it's.
Did it hit the foot? So we have a coach's challenge, seeing who the ball was out of bounds. Was it off Gary Clark or Keanu Pinder? Pinder went for the strike. We'll take a listen.
After review, the coach's challenge is successful. The call has been overturned. We now have an Illawarra ball on the baseline.
Goes the Hawks' way.
Hey, Dave O'Hickey's in the circle of trust.
One tick for Hickey.
He's in the circle of trust.
Tick for Hickey there.
He was pleading to the assistant coach, saying, "I did not touch it." I was worried for him because it looked like it potentially could have come off Gary Clark without him realising, and he said his truth. He said, "I didn't touch it," and he didn't.
What's your form been with a challenge? Have you demanded a challenge this year?
Yeah, usually they're for foul calls, and those are a bit tougher to try to get overturned. But obviously, if you know that you didn't touch that ball and they can prove that with the video evidence, get over there and tell your coach to challenge that thing.
And they're only a couple of minutes away, you would think, the Hawks from sealing this one. There is something huge happening off the ball. Bryce Cotton has just gone down with no contact from anybody. This is a huge story. Fingers crossed it's just cramp, but it looks like he's grabbing his knee. Just keep an eye on the top of the screen. But might just... there is a little knee on knee. And Sauce, I think you could probably talk us to some extent from something similar. Let's take it one more time.
Just I need a knee there. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hate to see it happen.
Hopefully a better scenario than a non-contact.
I missed the contact that just looked off the ball, went the way that he stepped back. Missed the contact from the angle that we saw.
And this is a team right now, you look at these two injuries. The FIBA break couldn't come at a better time.
And this was almost worst-case scenario coming into this weekend, really, for the Perth Wildcats. For a team that couldn't move from second spot on the ladder, the last thing they wanted was injuries, especially to two of their best 4 players.
To be honest, I had chills going down. That was heart in the mouth stuff. Nobody wants to see that.
But the silver lining in all of this for the Perth Wildcats is they've basically secured that top 2 spot. And so that means not only do you have the FIBA break, but you have the whole first part of the finals going on in the play-in tournament. And then you're just sitting there waiting, getting healthy.
You got about 2 weeks. I've got about 2 and a bit weeks to make sure they get everybody healthy.
Our fingers across it. Both instances are nothing too serious. There's more to come out of it, but it does look as if Cotton isn't too concerned about it. Hopefully it's just a knock.
The fact that he's still on the bench is a positive sign, right? And I'm sure they're getting the ice now and just having a look at it.
This is now the time, I think, when really we'll just go to his bench.
I haven't seen the ice pack come yet. I hope they're not having any discussion. Need to get him back out there.
Sarr just showing that athleticism.
Yeah, that's him just getting downhill again. That's open floor spacing. That's NBA levels things that we're seeing from Alexander Sarr there. But just going back to that previous Illawarra Hawks defensive possession, Coach Tatum was up and about the whole time, talking his guys all the way through. As you see Kerry Park getting downhill and finishing at the basket, talking to those guys. So it's almost like having a 6th defender out there, Joey. It's great to see, and that's what's really put him in that Coach of the Year category.
Pinder knocks down a second triple. Everyone just takes their breath. The Hawks look like they're going to do enough. They've got Henschel and Harris on the floor at the moment. It's another 2 points to Froling. John really calls a timeout. Well, let's get down to Brad Rosen. Have you got an update for us, Brad?
Yeah, it is a knee on knee. We saw that quite obviously on the replay, but Bryce just looked at Jesse. Jesse wagged his half, looked at him, said, "You okay?" He gave him the wink, and it all is looking fine. We probably won't see him with 4 minutes and a half left. It'll be interesting to see if he plays against Tasmania, but all in all, he looks fine.
Just recapping the 2 injuries, the Christian Doolittle shoulder injury in that 3rd quarter, and then Bryce Cotton with that knee-on-knee contact. There is Doolittle in the sling. Looking...
I was worried a bit for that. He got hit about his head, one of the recent issues he's had. That was my initial thought, but now in the sling.
Get that down to Brad Rosen. Brad?
Yeah, you're looking at the screen right now, and there is 10 executives or 1 player agent and 9 executives of the NBA at the moment. We talk about the power of the NBL and the next star. Well, they're here to watch Alex Sarr. We've got people from Memphis Grizzlies, Boston, Chicago, Atlanta, Portland and New Orleans. We've also got one man who I will give a shout out to, Shenton Way from the Utah Jazz. Shenton, he was an assistant coach with myself under the great Brian Goorjian when there was a three-peat for the Sydney Kings, and I spoke to him earlier, and everyone is loving Alex Sarr.
11 points, 5 rebounds for Alexander Sarr. He's going to get some more minutes late in this contest. Defense again, it's pretty good for the Hawks, but they commit another foul.
During all that with the foul out, I've seen a little bit coming through. saying the Illawarra fans, this has been a bit heated, a bit animated, cheering when Bryce Cotton went down. I think the cheer had more to Hiram Harris fouling out at the same time. When I don't think that the fans were going to be cheering the MVP. Just to clear that up. You know, there might be a couple out there, but I don't think that speaks on behalf of all the fans.
Just don't forget the Noble Tour coming up very, very soon. Make sure you get those tickets. Listen to Scotty Pippen, Horace Grant, Luke Longley talk about their halcyon days with the Chicago Bulls. As Dave O'Hickey gets a standing ovation from the home crowd.
Very well deserved. Very well deserved. I think he was their energetic barometer today and just came out and brought it early on and got things going there, especially in the third quarter.
I haven't seen a margin like this on the glass in some time. This was an almighty effort.
Froling had a glance at the shot clock. And they missed the bunny for him.
48 to 25. 15 offensive rebounds. Illawarra had 15 turnovers, so that's something that they want to look at going forward to change and to try and fix. They've missed 13 free throws and turned it over 15 times as well.
And there's an incident off the ball. An unsportsmanlike foul on Keanu Pinder.
Leave it. Pinder, walk away, take him away.
Things just getting a little bit chippy here in the last part of the game.
Could I have that?
So just keep an eye on Pinder. Bottom of your screen, just a little unnecessary elbow into the back of Lockie Albrecht. And that's the frustration coming through. This Hawks team have got the wood over the Perth Wildcats. That's now just a fact. Beating them by 18 points in both games and leading this one by 14. And the Wildcats don't like it.
Yeah, and when you're not having the best night, right, obviously, as we see Keanu Pinder walking to the bench with his fifth foul, you get that frustration coming in and things get a little bit chippy and words are said there. And obviously, we see Albrecht didn't really do anything too wrong, just getting tangled up there.
Yeah,
but that's the frustration part.
Correct, because I can't imagine Lockie Albrecht's the one. He's not saying anything. He's just a youngster trying to play hard. What it did look like, he was just trying to run a little bit in Keanu Pinder's lane to stop him trying to get in front. He could try and beat him down the floor. So have a look at Lockie Albrecht. Just tries to get in front. There was an initial little push bump from Pinder. Lockie Albrecht retaliated. And Lockie Albrecht went again. And then Keanu Pinder got done the fourth time. So there was a couple of little things back and forth there. But you're right. It's all just a little bit of frustration.
It's the third Wildcat to foul out. Ty Webster, Hiram Harris, and now Keanu Pinder as Lee's tough shooting night continues.
They want 100 on the board. They should get it and then some.
It might be young Albrecht who does bring up the triple figures.
And I like Albrecht rolling down to the basket there. Really good touch around the basket. Finished with both hands as he took the time there to get up and knock it down over the 7-footer.
Even still, this game looks like it's done and dusted. And Jong Lee is out there denying the ball from Ben Henshaw at half court. Won the first two games by 18 and they're on track to do it again.
There's now Sam Froling will check out of the game. There's going to be another timeout. This has been a really impressive performance from the Hawks. They went on that 3-game losing skid. There was a bit of talk, wasn't there, Pete, that maybe the bubble had burst. Tatum's, that the shine had worn off, but they have responded and won 5 of their last 6. And they are looking every bit one of the form teams of the competition.
It is an unbelievable story. And they're not your #1 team. They're everybody's second favorite team, aren't they?
They are tough. They're scary. They're that team going into these finals, going into the postseason that you just hoping you don't have to run into, because with their depth, with their energy, with their ability to rebound the basketball.
And with their jerseys. There's a bit of superstitious about this, Joey.
What?
Which is strange, 'cause I believe they have lost one in it, but they keep requesting to say at home, we want to wear these jerseys because we keep winning in them.
Why not? If you're allowed and you can, keep doing it. And I'll tell you what, the basketball just continues throughout this weekend. This has just been the start of what is going to be a crazy and wild finish to this Hungry Jacks NBL. New Zealand at home. Abercrombie announcing his retirement. The Brisbane Bullets must win if they want to make the play-in. Huge ramifications that might just determine the whole shape of the top 6. And then to fire that to Cairns Taipans. And they've got some of their own issues, you could say, taking on Melbourne United, who will not want to give an inch as they continue to be the dominant team of the competition. That's all to come tomorrow night.
It's going to be a unique rest of the round. So much hinges on tomorrow night, which we know nearly everything. But some of the other teams, those dead rubber games, are looking at this saying, okay, Bryce Cotton, just a little knee on knee, Christian Doolittle in a sling. What do we have to gain? What do we have to lose? What is more important, pros and cons?
Here's Buali Bales, whose birth date is today, turning 22 years of age. Get some court time as we go down. Matt Russell, you're listening into the huddles.
Yeah, 4,500 in the house, Joey, and they've made more noise tonight than bigger crowds this season. They've really enjoyed beating up on Perth tonight and setting up this sweep. They're about to make a big substitution. Kyle Adnam about to play his first minutes for the Illawarra Hawks since returning from Europe as Bill Wiley Bales. Can't get it done, but yeah, Kyle Adnam has been a Hawk before. He's about to make his official return to the NBL.
Oh, well, we know. Oh, my word.
Wow.
The bank's open. Late in Wollongong.
No, it's not actually off good kick.
So the party is now getting started in Wollongong. And as the boys mentioned, they will most likely finish fourth the way that it'll finish. So they will get one home final. And I just wonder, whether that was intentional.
Stop.
No, look, the way the bench are reacting and the way that he shot that,
yes.
I think that was deliberate.
There's no way you pump fake, sidestep, take your time to shoot it, hit the glass without doing that on purpose.
He was 0-6 before that, but Kyle Adams in the game. A minute 45 to go. We know him well. Doesn't take long.
Oh! Welcome to the gong.
Kizza.
Didn't even get it out. I was going to say over under 3 seconds for him to get a shot up, but he's knocked one down.
And it's blown out to 21 points. As Corey Webster checks in and just, as he coolly's done 1,000 times.
Adams a chance for double figures here. he can get him up quick.
Well, what's the margin right now, Pete? You said very rarely do teams sweep other teams. I'm tipping it's very rarely happened when they win by the same margin 3 consecutive times. It's 18 points, which is what it has been the previous 2 occasions. So they'll gift the ball back to the Perth Wildcats.
I was unaware that was a hypothetical. My math was ready to go. I was rolling. I was 18.
18?
Yeah, I was ready to go. You had it all sewn up.
Foul call. What does it do for the psyche, Alan, if these 2 teams do meet, you know, in the play-in or the playoffs, because Perth will finish second? Is there a psychological advantage now for the Illawarra Hawks against Perth?
I think there's a confidence factor for the Illawarra Hawks. I think that they know that they can go into RAC and win a game there, and possibly win 2 if necessary. So there's definitely a competitive advantage that goes into beating a team 3 times. But on the other end, too, there's also that hunger and something that I guarantee the Perth Wildcats won't forget. As we take a look here at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, we see Perth still in that 2nd spot, and Illawarra with this win solidifying themselves.
And Pete, this percentage in this game has been important as well, because you can see there for Illawarra.
Sure, they need to keep running up this score.
Because New Zealand could win both their games and finish on 14 wins. If they don't, Brisbane might finish on 14 wins, so this percentage can keep the Hawks in 4th spot.
They'll be fine with the Brisbane percentage. That's can't close that. But New Zealand's the one. New Zealand still have a chance to finish 4th, and the difference between finishing 4th and 5th is huge. And again, a lot of people questioned it at the start, but the whole play-in tournament is awesome because every single game matters and every single point matters. And as we said, to come down and realise you have to get a certain number just to finish 4th and have a second chance at it compared to 1 and done means a whole lot.
Just so good for NBL fans here in Australia and around the world to see competitive basketball running all the way through the season in every single round.
There you go, Joe, you asked for it. 18 points as it stands.
I'd love to finish at 18 just for some wild, crazy stat. And it might be the case, although not quite.
They need the points, so they should keep going.
maybe Bales, maybe Peatling. It's going to be 16, but it doesn't really matter. The Tatum turnaround is complete. The Illawarra Hawks will be playing finals. They'll be in a play-in. And I tell you what, they are a scary proposition with the form they are in.
Absolutely. The way that they rebounded the basketball this game, the way that they defended, they're a force to be reckoned with.
They've won 5 of their last 7 on the road. They've got the job done at home tonight. They are in form.
The style they play is what's dangerous. The way they play for each other, the way they play for Justin Tatum, the way they play for the fans, that's what's scary. And they're a team that you don't have to come up against. Because, to be honest, they only hit 9 threes. They're a team that can easily hit 15 to 18 threes, and they do that on a night, you're in trouble.
They got a guy, too. Couple guys. When you got Harvey going and he's flowing, but Gary Clark, when you got a guy on your team like that can score the basketball in multiple ways and also rebound the basketball, play defense with his versatility, you give yourself a real chance late into the postseason.
Their big 3 are all in form. Froling, Harvey, Clark, Robinson's found his niche off the bench. Hickey's having influence. They are just a well-oiled machine at the moment, this Illawarra Hawks. Of course, on the flip side, the big story for Perth, despite it's their 3rd loss in 5 games, it's the fact that Bryce Cotton and Christian Doolittle finished the game sore, injured. We're not exactly sure. We'll find out more. They have to butter up and play again on Saturday night in Tasmania. But it's all about these Illawarra Hawks. And you spoke about the man, Gary Clark. Well, he has now been the Foot Locker player of the game 7 of the last 12 times these Illawarra Hawks have played. Matt Russell, you have him with you.
26 points and 11 rebounds will do that, Joey, won't they? Gary Clark, congratulations on a great win. You are now officially in the finals. You've made the postseason after starting 2 and 7. How does that sound?
That sounds great. It sounds great. It's crazy to think. Starting 2 and 7 to being now. So first we want to just thank the Hawks fans who stayed faithful throughout this whole process. And we wouldn't have been able to do it without this whole crowd constantly showing up for us.
Nearly 4,500 fans here tonight. Not the biggest crowd of the season, but I reckon the loudest. Would you agree?
Absolutely. We were yelling at each other, and guys couldn't even hear each other talking, so it was a great atmosphere. You couldn't ask for a better atmosphere than this.
You've beaten Perth this season by 18, and by 16. Why have you done so well against the Wildcats?
Just attention to details. Our coaching staff, JK, just give the guys, all of us, the information, and we just execute it. I think it's just it's different playing against them because they have one player that, everyone can zone in on and, kind of help off everyone else. So it's been easier than, other teams that's a bit more complete.
The crowd loves seeing Kyle Adnam get on the floor. They love seeing Will Hickey. What's it like having Will come off the bench with that sort of energy and effort?
It's been great. Just to see his progress from the beginning of the year to now, and just constantly just telling him to stay ready. He's just a product of just constantly staying locked in and just knowing when your time comes, just step up and just make the most of it.
Melbourne on Sunday, then off to the finals. Gary Clark, congratulations, great game.
Thank you, I appreciate it. More basketball here in Hawk Nation.
Well, it is one of the great turnarounds we have seen in recent times in the NBL, and they may not just be done with yet, these Illawarra Hawks. They get the job done at home by 16 points. Matt and Brad will be right back after this to wrap it all up.